the bottom left, our up-and-coming Protoss player.
Emotion.
Got to be tense for him right now. In the top left, in the blue, our Terran player, the terrorist Terran.
Fantasy.
Let him in your base, and he's going to cause a problem.
Indeed, he is. He had some great harassment there. That's really how he fought right back into it, is some really nice drops. Killed quite a few probes.
Hey, look, Lennox watching.
Look at him. He's just hanging out with, I don't know, fans or friends or both.
Friends.
Friends. Yeah.
That's like what 16-year-old girls call their friends on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that actually true, or did you make that up?
Well, I mean, I've just seen like young girls post on Facebook, like the my friends, like MAH friends. I'm like,
God.
Oh, yeah.
Things that like 12 through, I guess 16 or 17-year-old girls do. It
can be painful to read.
It's unbelievably painful to hear, see, read, whatever.
Well,
those hormones, man.
Yeah.
Thank God I only liked video games at that age.
Well, I guess you're one of the luckier ones are Tosis.
I think so. All right, anyways.
Well, the Reaper Expand is a classic here, and we're going to see it. The question is, what does Emotion do? Because you think he's going to do some sort of timing and see how it gets scouted, but I think that he's going to play a fast Nexus to Robotics, Forge upgrades, Colossus into a third.
All right, well, we'll see about that. You might be right. He only has one gas here, and that's an old fast expand into Robo type of build. So it could be. But he's chrono boosting out this Stalker and the Mothership Core as well. Could just be wanting to go up and put a little bit of pressure on. In fact, Fantasy realizes and does throw down the bunker. Chose the right path with the Zealot, and in fact, the Reaper realizes this and turns around because he knows he has to micro heavily against the Zealot before the Stalker Mothership Core catch up. So this is just the Zealot to Stalker Mothership Core pressure, and it's a very, very strong one. If you have solid micro and your opponent, especially if they don't see it, you can deal a lot of damage.
Oh, look at this.
Nice counter. Very nice counter. He's got the bunker at the top of his ramp. He's got Marines making. He's slowed this down with the Reaper, and he's going for a proxy fact and maybe even a proxy starport against someone who's spent a lot of money on units and will spend money on a Nexus next. This has been like just incredibly intelligent. How
trying to block these units from getting past the bunker, but he's going to get past, and actually he's already killing enough workers to make this worth it. If he could recall, he loses too much though. Getting a little bit too close to that bunker, not really respecting the range that it grants those Marines.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Ooh, he just barely gets that out of there.
I didn't realize that was so low.
Yeah, he did lose a lot of SCVs there, that's for sure. It's too bad that he didn't have a full wall in up. But, you know, he was spending money down south to make these counter structures. And I think it is actually going to pay off. I think that actually was, like, maybe he should have stopped making SCVs or something. Like, I didn't pay the closest attention to the minerals. Like, he should have tried to get a building up. But I guess the most important thing is he's going to have, like, a very quick Widow Mine drop that I don't know how you're supposed to stop with no energy in your Mothership Core. Your Nexus has been a lot slower. I mean, you look at it, this is a nice counter.
Yeah. Certainly.
His opponent just probably won't have detection in place.
Well, the Forge is coming up here. It's really a matter of, does he drop the cannon in the mineral line or not? Because if he doesn't do that, then it's certainly going to do at least a little bit of damage. It's going to fire probably twice. Robotics is a bit late here for detection. And he's got a lot of units coming across the middle of the map, too. He's going to go ahead and fly that factory back. Doesn't need that anymore. He could try to bait the Stalker down to those Marines. Don't think he's going to get that.
You know, he did force that Nexus cannon, so, I mean, that recall, sorry. So, you know, when he actually brings this drop in, he can move these Marines in as well, and it's like, you don't really have what you need to defend here.
No.
Because you did try to get aggressive early on.
All right, well, no cannons. The probes all get away, but he's losing a lot of mine time for this. We'll get 2 kills. That was a great split by Emotion. But the problem is this bunkering that's happening now at the bottom of the ramp. We talked about this build a lot. It's really popular on Habitation Station.
Indeed. Something we've seen Maru do quite often. It's not exactly the same, but like this is a great move, a really smart play.
Oh, it's so frustrating. I think they should get 2 more shots off. I think he has to realize this, right?
Yeah, I would hope so. Well, here we go.
He's like, let me see if it kills like all my probes and the sentry.
I hope I lose all my units.
Yeah, like what was that? That was horribly
I think
executed.
he's just like panicking a little bit. You know, he played like a pretty good game last game. Suddenly everything this game is going wrong. You know, this can happen. This can happen.
Yeah, well, it is happening.
And you know what? Everything already did go wrong. The 21 probes, lost his Nexus, lost a bunch of his units as well.
There's a bunker at the bottom of the ramp containing him that he can't break out from without an Immortal, and he made a second Observer. Like, this is...
I think there's literally not a comeback strategy here against someone like Fantasy that's so good at micro. Like, your comeback strategy would be some sort of like weird all-in, but...
Or if he somehow breaks out and like hides a Nexus somewhere after he takes his natural.
Oh god, I don't even know if that would work. Like,
it would take too long, right, to get that powered up?
Fantasy would just whittle down anything you do by then. Look at this, he's up by 6 miners when they're both sub 30. It's like just... And now he's killed that Observer. Oh god. See, this is good, right? This is smart. Make a Warp Prism, send it over. You're basically doing a 4-gate against someone that's... I guess he won't have Stim during it, so that's a positive, right? Let's try to have a positive outlook.
He's elevating the Stalkers out, which is not a bad idea.
Yeah, I like the idea,
but
GG
he doesn't even try it.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. It's just...
This is what we expected from Emotion in this group. Maybe some nerves. He's up against 3 Titans.
You know what? I thought he played a pretty good game 1 against Fantasy. And it's understandable. Like, he chose like a reasonable strategy to try to kill Fantasy with, but Fantasy was really smart and really on the ball to proxy that and go for some counter aggression. But, you know, a lesser player than Fantasy may have just defended and tried to make a command center, then suddenly Emotion's ahead.
No. Well, Fantasy now has to play a Terran versus Zerg against Leenock. I feel like Leenock's ZVT is pretty decent. I don't know how in shape he is right now in the matchup. I wasn't sure about how in shape he would be in ZVP. They already showed us some really good games today, so if he's in shape playing with those Taiwanese players, playing with San, you know, maybe he can show us. Well, San's obviously not a Terran, but in you know, the upcoming match, maybe he can show us a good ZVT. If not, Fantasy's going to Code S.
Yeah, it's hard to say who will win this. I think it could absolutely go either way, and we'll see which way it's going to go after this quick commercial break.